All right, these are my non-spoiler filled thoughts on The Flash. If you want to get a full rundown on the troubled timeline of The Flash, I'm doing a short on that, so I'll fill you in on all the details, but trust me, it is a long and winding road to get to this point. But finally, we have The Flash. I've been excited about this movie for a long time, huge Flash fan, and I think for the most part, it's the best version of The Flash that we're going to get in live action for a while. I'm not sure what James Gunn's plans are for The Flash, but the character, I think they did their own thing with this one. Barry Allen is not like he is in the comics. It's not an accurate representation, actually more Wally West than Barry Allen, but for the most part, they kind of created their own thing in this Snyderverse version of the DC Extended Universe, and I enjoy it. I think it's okay, but it's just not, hitting it out of the park, which is what I was expecting, especially coming off of Across the Spider-Verse, because that was a 5 out of 5, hit it out of the park. So my expectations were high coming into this Flash film, and I think it was kind of a mistake for them to release this right next to Across the Spider-Verse. It has some multiverse stuff in it, but it's not like Across the Spider-Verse where it's going way deep into the multiverse. It's kind of a singular, it's actually more of a time travel story, a timeline story, than it is a multiverse visiting different Earth stories. So overall, I just think that after 2 years, this is the film that we got. It could have been a lot better. If it was released 2 years ago, I think the conversation around this movie would be a lot different. I think we would have a lot more positive things to say, but it feels like the CG is dated already 2 years. The day that we see it, the day it releases, it feels like it's already 2 years behind. It's been sitting on the shelf, and I don't think it was a good move to delay it. It didn't feel like a bridge to the new James Gunn universe. It just felt like a remnant of the past. So I had some flashes of brilliance in the movie. I really liked a lot of the speed aspects of the film. Obviously, The Flash, you're going to want to get the fastest man alive to be doing some crazy stuff with the Speed Force, and that's what you got in this movie. A lot of good humor, a lot of good comedy. I liked a lot of stuff with Michael Keaton and Ezra Miller. I think that was the strongest performances that we got in this movie, was those two leads. I wanted more Michael Keaton, but then on the flip side of that, it kind of felt just like nostalgia, and I'm looking at it through nostalgia colored glasses and saying, oh man, I loved Michael Keaton when he was in the 1989 Batman, but what was his real purpose in this, and his true purpose? And if you really want a good Flash storyline, check out Flashpoint, not only the comic series but the animated film. I think that's a much better story that they could have done in this one. They kind of loosely adapted it, but this version was not as good as it could have been. So that's where I left it. I left the theater thinking, man, there were some great opportunities that were missed here. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen this year, and it wasn't the best thing I've seen this year. It was just kind of right in the middle. So mid-tier Flash coming from the studio. Hopefully when James Gunn takes over, we'll get a much better version of The Flash. What did you think about The Flash? If you've seen the movie, give me a comment down below. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a full spoiler-filled review of this film. Full thoughts, everything is going to be on the table. You're going to want to stay tuned to the Vactor-Verse to get that Flash review.